Have you ever felt that something extraordinary is quietly taking shape in your life? Something so powerful it could change everything? Imagine a promise so deep, so undeniable, that even the forces trying to pull you down tremble at its arrival. What if God Himself is preparing a marriage? Yes, a sacred union that will not only bring you joy, but also shock the enemy in ways you can't yet imagine. This isn't just about two people coming together. It's about a divine plan so grand that it shakes the very foundation of darkness. And if you open your heart and mind today, you'll begin to understand the incredible power that is already working for you. Life often feels like a battle. There are moments when the weight of challenges seems unbearable, when doubts whisper in your ear and fears try to chain your spirit. But beneath all that noise, there is a sacred promise quietly unfolding. It's easy to overlook because it happens in the hidden places, inside your soul, in the spaces where faith grows, in the silent preparation of your heart. God is weaving a story of hope, love, and victory that no one can stop. This marriage He is preparing is not just any union. It's a divine alliance meant to bring breakthrough, healing, and unstoppable power. It is a marriage designed to defy expectations and leave the enemy speechless. Think about what that means for a moment. In the spiritual world, marriage is more than a legal bond or a social celebration. It is a sacred covenant, a connection that carries destiny and purpose. When God designs such a union, He's not simply joining two lives. He is creating a force that will impact generations, break chains, and shine His glory in the darkest places. This marriage is a battlefield victory, a sign that God's power cannot be overcome by fear or opposition. The enemy may try to plot, to delay, to distract, but this union will rise above every obstacle. It will be a living testimony that God's promises are true and that no darkness can extinguish His light. Right now, you might be wondering, how can I be sure this is for me? How do I recognize this divine preparation? The truth is, God's timing is often a mystery, but His signs are all around you. You may feel a stirring in your heart, a deep peace mixed with a restless hope. You might notice doors opening in unexpected ways, or people crossing your path who bring encouragement. Sometimes, the waiting itself is a sign. Waiting is not weakness. It's the silent work of God shaping your character, teaching you patience, and preparing you to step into a destiny far greater than you ever imagined. There is power in faith, especially when you cannot see the whole picture. Faith is the light that guides you through the darkness. It's the voice inside that says, this is not the end. Something greater is coming. And it is during these times of waiting that your spirit grows stronger. The enemy may try to whisper lies, to make you doubt your worth or your future. But remember, every delay is a setup for a greater blessing. God's plan is perfect, and His love never fails. When you hold on to this truth, you align yourself with a destiny that will not just surprise you, but shock every force that stands against you. This marriage that God is preparing will do more than bring happiness. It will be a breakthrough in your life story. It will shatter old patterns, break generational curses, and bring healing to wounds you thought were permanent. Imagine a love so powerful, it rewrites your family history, your future, and your legacy. This is not fantasy. It is a spiritual reality being formed right now, and it is meant for you. The angels themselves are watching, ready to celebrate when this divine union is revealed. A marriage that will shake the enemy to his core because it is fueled by God's unstoppable power. What if you could tap into that power today? What if your life could become a living example of God's glory? The truth is, you can. But it starts with believing that what God has promised is already on its way. You don't have to see it fully yet. You just need to trust it is real. Trust that the unseen forces are moving in your favor. Trust that this marriage is not just a dream, but a destiny. When you embrace this truth, your whole perspective changes. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, and live differently. You become a magnet for blessings and breakthroughs. If you hold on to this hope, you will discover a new strength rising inside you. You'll find peace even in the storms. You will become a beacon of light in your world, a living proof that God's promises never fail. This marriage is not just a promise for the future, it is a call to prepare now, to grow now, and to believe now. The more you open your heart, the more you align yourself with a future that will amaze not only you, but everyone around you. So keep your eyes and heart open. The divine is at work, crafting something so magnificent that when it unfolds, it will shock the enemy and inspire the world. Your story is far from ordinary. It's a testimony of faith, a journey through challenge into triumph. And this marriage, this sacred union, is the next chapter that will prove God's power in your life like never before. Stay with this truth deeply in your spirit. God is preparing a marriage that will shock the enemy. It's happening for you even now. Your moment is coming, and it will be more glorious than you've ever imagined. When God is preparing something as powerful as this divine marriage, it begins deep within your soul. It is a quiet transformation, unseen by the world but undeniable to the heart that believes. This preparation is not just about finding the right person. It is about becoming the right person. It is about healing, growing, and stepping into the fullness of who you were created to be. Every challenge you face, every tear you shed, every moment of loneliness, these are the tools God uses to shape you. He is refining your character, teaching you patience, resilience, and faith. This process may feel difficult, but it is necessary, because only when you are ready can the fullness of this union reveal itself. And when it does, it will overwhelm the enemy who has watched and waited for your downfall. Trust that the waiting is not wasted time. It is the soil in which your destiny is rooted. In the silence of waiting, God is working miracles. He is aligning every detail, orchestrating every encounter, and removing every obstacle that could stand in the way of this sacred union. Your heart may ache with longing, but that ache is a sign of God's promise stirring within you, urging you to hold on. The enemy fears this waiting because he knows what it leads to. A marriage so divinely crafted, it will stand as a fortress against every attack. It is a marriage filled with purpose, strength, and unbreakable love. This is not a union born out of mere chance or convenience. It is a divine strategy designed to bring breakthrough not only for you, but for those who come after you. Through this marriage, chains of past pain will be shattered. Generational curses will be broken. The enemy's plans to divide and destroy will crumble in the face of God's overwhelming power. What the world may see as an ordinary relationship will, in truth, be an extraordinary force of light that disrupts darkness and declares victory. You are not just preparing for a wedding, you are preparing to be part of a spiritual revolution that will shock the enemy and inspire countless others. Embrace this truth with your whole heart. Let it sink deep into your spirit and fuel your faith. Your patience, your prayers, and your perseverance are all part of the divine preparation. This sacred marriage is a promise, and promises made by God never fail. Hold on, stay faithful, and watch as God's plan unfolds in ways beyond your imagination. The enemy will be stunned, but you will stand victorious, stronger, wiser, and more loved than ever before. This is your divine destiny, and it is coming soon. Every great victory begins with a battle, and this sacred marriage is no exception. The enemy will try every trick to stop it, to sow seeds of doubt, fear, and confusion. But the truth is, the power behind this union is greater than any attack. It is forged in the fire of God's purpose, protected by His unshakable love. When you understand this, you begin to see that every challenge you face is not a sign of failure, but a signal that your breakthrough is near. The enemy fears what he cannot control. He trembles when love rooted in God's plan rises stronger than his lies. This marriage is a divine fortress, built not on human strength, but on the foundation of faith, trust, and unwavering commitment to God's will. The spiritual realm is alive with unseen forces, both good and evil, fighting over your future. But the angels stand guard, ready to defend this union and celebrate its arrival. When God brings two hearts together in this divine way, He surrounds them with protection and blessings that shock the enemy's plans. This marriage will be a testimony of God's power to bring light into darkness, to heal what was broken, and to unite what was divided. The enemy's attempts to divide or destroy will only make the victory sweeter and more undeniable. This sacred union is a symbol of hope, a living proof that God's love conquers all. Your role in this battle is to stand firm in faith and keep your eyes on the promise. Prayer is your weapon, patience your shield, and trust in God your anchor. Do not let fear or frustration weaken your spirit. Instead, let every challenge draw you closer to God and strengthen your resolve. The enemy's noise will grow louder, but your faith must grow louder still. Remember, the darkest nights often come just before the brightest dawns. This marriage will emerge from the struggle as a beacon of victory that cannot be ignored. It will not just shock the enemy, but inspire countless others who have been waiting for their own miracles. No matter how difficult the journey feels, know that God is with you every step of the way. His plans are perfect and His timing is flawless. Trust that He is preparing a marriage so powerful it will change your life and the lives of those around you forever. Hold fast to this truth, for your victory is coming and it will shock the enemy beyond anything he ever imagined. The moment you truly grasp that this marriage is not just a union between two people, but a divine strategy, your perspective shifts completely. This is a sacred partnership ordained by God to fulfill a purpose far greater than personal happiness. It carries a mission to heal wounds, restore hope, and break cycles that have held you or your family captive for generations. The power of this marriage lies in its ability to transform not just your life, but the lives of those who come after you. It will be a source of strength that echoes through time, a legacy of faith and victory that no enemy can silence or diminish. You are being called to prepare your heart and mind with intention. This preparation is a journey inward, a commitment to healing past hurts, releasing bitterness, and forgiving both yourself and others. It requires humility to admit where growth is needed and courage to pursue that growth relentlessly. As you do this, you become a vessel ready to receive the fullness of God's blessing. Your spirit aligns with His purpose, and your life begins to reflect the light and love that this sacred marriage will embody. The enemy knows this is his greatest threat. That is why he will try to distract you with fear, impatience, and doubt. But these are mere illusions designed to keep you from stepping into your destiny. Recognize these attacks for what they are and refuse to give them power. Instead, focus on the truth that God's timing is perfect and His plans for you are filled with hope. You are being equipped to walk into a love that not only satisfies your deepest desires, but also shakes the very foundations of darkness. This marriage is a testament to resilience, faith, and divine orchestration. It is the answer to prayers whispered in the quiet moments when no one was watching. It is a covenant that will stand firm through storms and trials because it is built on the rock of God's unchanging love. When it arrives, it will be more than a celebration of two lives joining. It will be a celebration of victory over every obstacle that once seemed impossible to overcome. This is your moment to trust deeply, prepare diligently, and believe without hesitation. The marriage God is preparing for you will be a light that shocks the enemy and shines brightly for all to see. The preparation God is doing in your life goes beyond what you can see or understand right now. It's a deep spiritual work that touches every part of your being, mind, body, and soul. This divine process is about more than just patience. It is about transformation. You are being shaped into someone who can carry the weight and the blessing of this powerful marriage. It requires shedding old fears, releasing past disappointments, and stepping into a new level of faith. This is not always easy, but it is necessary, because a marriage that will shock the enemy is built on more than feelings. It is built on strength, purpose, and unshakable faith. As you continue on this path, Your thoughts begin to align with God's truth. You start to see yourself not as broken or unworthy, but as chosen and equipped for something extraordinary. This shift in perspective changes everything. Where fear once tried to dominate, hope begins to rise. Where doubt once whispered, faith grows louder. This is the heart's awakening, a deep knowing that you are being prepared for a union that carries divine power. It's a partnership that will bring healing, restoration, and victory not only to you, but to many others as well. The enemy knows that when two hearts come together under God's guidance, they become a force that darkness cannot withstand. That is why the battle to disrupt this union will be fierce. But the truth is, the stronger you grow in faith, and the deeper you trust God's timing, the less the enemy's attacks will matter. Your peace will become unshakable, your hope unstoppable. This marriage is a spiritual fortress, one built on the foundation of God's promises and protected by His power. This time of preparation is a sacred season. It is a gift to grow, to learn, and to build the foundation that will support a love unlike any other. You are not alone in this journey. Divine forces surround you, working behind the scenes to bring everything into alignment. Keep your heart open and your spirit strong. The moment this marriage is revealed, it will not only shock the enemy, but also ignite a fire of hope in everyone who witnesses it. Your faithfulness in this season is creating a legacy of love and victory that will last forever. This divine marriage is not just about the two souls coming together. It is a powerful act of spiritual warfare. Every prayer lifted, every moment of faith shown, weakens the enemy's grip and strengthens the bond God is forging. The enemy fears the unity that is born from God's love because it brings healing, restoration, and victory. Where there was once division, pain, and defeat, this marriage will become a fortress, a refuge where love and faith protect against every attack. It will stand as a living testimony that God's power is greater than any force trying to tear it down. Prayer is the weapon that sharpens this union. It is the foundation on which this marriage is built. When you pray with faith and determination, you are calling forth heavenly protection and blessings that cannot be seen with the eyes, but felt deeply in the spirit. Prayer connects you directly to God's power, allowing Him to move in ways beyond human understanding. It is through consistent prayer and spiritual focus that this marriage will be shielded from doubts, temptations, and distractions that aim to weaken it. Every heartfelt prayer adds strength and resilience to the bond being formed. Spiritual warfare is real, but so is God's authority over all things. The angels fight on behalf of those who believe, guarding the path and preparing the way for this sacred union. This is why perseverance in faith is vital. It's not about how fast you get there, but about how firmly you stand in God's promises while you wait. Every challenge you overcome is a victory. Every moment of trust is a step closer to the marriage God is preparing. Your faith is your fortress. It keeps the enemy at bay and ensures that when this marriage arrives, it will be unstoppable. Stand firm in prayer, hold fast to hope, and never underestimate the power of spiritual preparation. This sacred union is already victorious in the unseen realm. It is sealed by God's love and protected by His might. When it is revealed, it will shock the enemy because it is more than a relationship. It is a divine conquest that proves God's power to create, restore, and triumph. Keep praying, keep believing, and watch as your faith turns the impossible into reality. To fully embrace this divine marriage, you must prepare yourself deeply, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. This preparation goes beyond waiting. It requires intentional growth and transformation. It means looking inward and facing the parts of yourself that need healing and renewal. The journey to becoming ready is a sacred one, where you shed old fears, doubts, and insecurities. You begin to understand your true worth, not based on what the world says, but on the unshakable truth that you are chosen and loved by God. This transformation allows you to enter this marriage whole, strong, and ready to fulfill the extraordinary purpose God has set. Preparing yourself also means embracing patience with grace. It is easy to grow weary when the waiting feels long, or when life's challenges try to shake your faith. But every moment of patience is a step toward the fullness of the blessing. When you resist the temptation to rush or settle for less, you are honoring God's perfect timing. This patience refines your character and builds endurance, qualities essential for a marriage that will stand firm against any storm. It is in these quiet moments of preparation that your faith is tested and strengthened, preparing you for the joy and responsibility of this sacred union. Emotional readiness is just as important as spiritual readiness. It means releasing past hurts, forgiving those who have caused pain, and opening your heart to love again without fear. It means cultivating a spirit of kindness, humility, and generosity that will nurture the relationship you are about to enter. This emotional growth is what turns two individuals into a powerful team, capable of facing life's battles side by side. When both partners come into this marriage whole, the bond they share becomes unbreakable, and their love becomes a force that shocks the enemy. Mentally, you must train yourself to trust God's promises fully. Doubt and fear often come from the mind, but when you feed your thoughts with truth and hope, you create a strong foundation for your future. Keep your mind focused on what is good, pure, and possible through God. This mental discipline helps you maintain clarity and vision even when circumstances seem unclear. As you prepare in spirit, heart, and mind, you become ready to receive a marriage that will not only change your life, but will shock the enemy and bring glory to God. Trusting God's timing is one of the greatest challenges you will face on this journey. It's natural to want answers right now, to see clear signs and know exactly when your blessing will arrive. But God's timing is never rushed, and it is always perfect. Every delay you experience is a part of His divine plan to prepare you and align every detail for the greatest possible blessing. When you learn to trust in His timing, you release the burden of control and open yourself to peace. You begin to understand that waiting is not a pause, but a process, one that is actively shaping your future in ways you cannot yet see. Many people give up too soon because they mistake God's delays for denial. They become discouraged and start doubting their worthiness or the reality of the promise. But the truth is, God's timing often involves a deeper work that can't be rushed. It is in these quiet seasons of waiting that your faith is refined, your character is built, and your readiness is perfected. You are being molded into someone capable of receiving a blessing that will surpass all your expectations. This trust in God's timing becomes the foundation for the strength and patience you will need, not just for the marriage itself, but for every challenge you and your partner will face together. Remember that the enemy tries to use impatience and doubt to derail your destiny. He knows that if he can make you rush or settle for less, the impact of this divine marriage will be weakened. But when you stand firm, grounded in trust, you become untouchable. You are no longer controlled by fear or frustration. Instead, you walk confidently, knowing that God is weaving every thread of your story with purpose and precision. You are learning to wait with hope, knowing that the moment when your marriage is revealed will be worth every second of waiting. Embracing God's timing means embracing faith in its purest form. It means choosing to believe in the unseen and to hold tightly to promises made long ago. This trust is a powerful weapon against the enemy's plans. It prepares you not only to receive the marriage God is preparing, but to walk into it with a heart full of peace, joy, and confidence. When you trust God's perfect timing, you position yourself to experience a love that will shock the enemy and shine as a testament to God's unfailing faithfulness. There is a profound power in the stories of those who have walked this path before you. People who trusted God's timing, persevered through trials, and witnessed miracles unfold in their lives. These testimonies are living proof that what God promises is never too late and never out of reach. When you hear of marriages born out of divine preparation, marriages that seemed impossible by human standards, but became unstoppable forces of love and victory, it is a reminder that your story is also being written with purpose and power. These examples show that God delights in surprising the world with His plans, turning what looks like failure into a grand triumph. Each testimony carries a message of hope that your wait is not in vain. These couples faced challenges, doubts, and attacks from the enemy, yet their faith did not waver. They held on to God's promises, prayed without ceasing, and prepared themselves to receive a blessing beyond their dreams. When their marriages finally came to light, the impact was undeniable. They broke cycles of pain, restored broken families, and became a source of inspiration for others struggling to believe in love and divine timing. Their unions were not just celebrations of love, but declarations of God's unstoppable power working through human lives. As you listen to these stories, let them fuel your faith. Know that you are part of this same divine narrative, a story that is greater than any obstacle you face. The trials you endure today are temporary, but the victory waiting for you is eternal. The enemy's plans to discourage you will fail because your marriage is backed by heavenly power. These testimonies remind you that no matter how long the wait, no matter how many obstacles arise, God's plan cannot be thwarted. Your faithfulness, your prayers, and your willingness to prepare yourself are the seeds being planted for a harvest of blessing. Just as these stories demonstrate, your marriage will be a testament to God's faithfulness, a shining example of hope, and a source of strength for many. Let these examples remind you that your divine marriage is coming, and it will shock the enemy with its beauty, power, and purpose. Hold on to that truth with all your heart. When you begin to see your marriage as a testament to God's glory, your entire outlook shifts. This sacred union is not just a personal blessing. It is a living example of what happens when faith conquers fear and trust overcomes doubt. It will be a story that others will look to for hope and inspiration. Your marriage will stand as proof that God's promises are real, that He is faithful, and that His power can change the course of any life. This understanding gives you strength to endure, courage to keep believing, and peace to rest in God's perfect plan. Your marriage will become a beacon of light in a world that often feels dark and uncertain. It will shine with the qualities of love, patience, kindness, and unwavering commitment. These are not just human traits. They are reflections of God's nature working through you and your partner. When two hearts join under God's guidance, they carry His love into every situation, every challenge, and every victory. Your union will inspire others to believe in the impossible and to trust in divine timing. It will be a source of encouragement for those who have struggled with loneliness, disappointment, or doubt. The enemy will be shocked, not only because your marriage overcomes his attacks, but because it glorifies God in ways he cannot understand or defeat. This marriage will disrupt patterns of pain, break strongholds, and bring healing to places that were once wounded. It will be a sanctuary where grace flows freely and joy abounds. Your story will be a living testimony that no matter what darkness tries to overshadow your life, God's light will always prevail. Remember, this marriage is part of a greater plan, one that stretches beyond your own desires and reaches into the lives of others. It will carry a legacy of faith and victory that will be passed down for generations. Embrace this truth fully and let it motivate you to prepare your heart and spirit. Your marriage is not just a union. It is a declaration of God's glory and power working mightily through you. Stand firm in this confidence and watch as your divine destiny unfolds with power that shocks the enemy and blesses the world. Every moment you invest in preparing yourself for this divine marriage is a step toward a future filled with blessings beyond your imagination. It is easy to focus on the difficulties, the unanswered questions, or the long wait, but true strength comes from embracing the journey itself. Your growth, your healing, and your faithfulness during this season are shaping a foundation so strong that no challenge can shake it. When God's timing is perfect, the marriage He has prepared will reveal itself with power and purpose. It will be a union that defies odds and surprises even the fiercest opposition. Preparation is not passive waiting. It is active becoming. You are becoming a person who embodies patience, love, and resilience. You are learning to trust God's process, to surrender control, and to walk in faith even when the path is unclear. This transformation is the key to unlocking the full blessing of your marriage. The stronger your foundation, the more capable you will be to carry the weight and responsibility of a union that is meant to bring glory to God and breakthrough to your life and generations to come. Your heart is being trained to love in a way that reflects God's unconditional love. It is being softened to forgive, strengthened to persevere, and open to receive the fullness of joy that this marriage will bring. This preparation aligns your spirit with God's divine will, making you ready not just for marriage, but for a life partnership that will be a testimony of faith, hope, and victory. The enemy may try to discourage you, but he cannot stop what God has ordained. Remember that this divine union is a gift and a responsibility. It carries with it the power to heal old wounds, to build new legacies, and to shock the enemy with its strength and beauty. As you continue to prepare, hold fast to the truth that God's plan for you is greater than any challenge you face. Your faithfulness now sets the stage for a marriage that will inspire, transform, and shine as a powerful light in the world. This is your moment to embrace the preparation, knowing that the blessing is worth every step. There is a sacred power in the patience you show as you wait for God's perfect timing. Waiting is never wasted time. It is a necessary part of the journey toward a blessing that will surpass your greatest hopes. When you trust God's timing, you release yourself from the anxiety and pressure that come with trying to control the outcome. You step into a place of peace and confidence, knowing that God is working behind the scenes. Every delay, every season of waiting is preparing the soil of your heart to receive the fullness of what He has planned. Many give up too soon because they mistake delay for denial. But God's delays are not rejections. They are opportunities for you to grow stronger in faith, to deepen your trust, and to prepare your heart for the union that will shock the enemy. The waiting shapes you in ways that quick answers never could. It teaches endurance, humility, and reliance on God's promises. Your faith is being tested, refined, and made unbreakable. This is the foundation you need for a marriage that will withstand any trial and shine brightly as a beacon of God's power. The enemy uses impatience and doubt as weapons to try to derail your destiny. He wants you to rush, to settle for less, or to lose hope. But when you hold firm, anchored in trust, you become untouchable. Your peace becomes a fortress that no fear or frustration can break. You begin to walk boldly, knowing that every step you take is ordered by God. You are learning the secret of walking in faith, even when you cannot see the full path ahead. To embrace God's timing is to embrace faith in its purest form. It is choosing to believe in the unseen and holding tightly to the promises God has made. This trust is a powerful weapon against the enemy's schemes. It prepares you to enter your divine marriage with a heart full of peace, joy, and confidence. When the time finally comes, your marriage will not only shock the enemy, but will also stand as a glorious testament to God's unfailing faithfulness and perfect timing.